In today's video, you're going to learn the 3 biggest mistakes that people make when they're trying to lose weight.
But it's not just about the mistakes, we're going to give you solutions. So before you watch this video, do not forget to like and subscribe.
We appreciate every single subscriber that we get, so don't forget to say hello in the comments.
If you're interested in fat loss,
Then we have got the perfect thing for you.
it's absolutely free.
Free of charge, go to our website and it's our fat loss ebook.
Pop in your email address and we'll send it straight to you. So 3 of the biggest weight loss mistakes.
Number 1, cutting calories too much or too quickly.
Now this is a common problem. Everyone gets so zealous. They're like, yes, I'm going to lose weight. I'm currently eating 2,500 calories a day. I'm going to go right down to 500 calories. Because that's bound to work, right?
Yeah, and as much as we're laughing, it's not far off the truth. People cut out way too much. And actually there's a lot of products and supplements out there, and these companies, these pyramid selling schemes that promote this kind of nonsense. But people will do it by themselves as well. You know, like, I'm just going to have a bowl of cereal for breakfast, and I'm going to have a bowl of cereal for my lunch, and I'm going to have a normal dinner with some chicken and some broccoli. Doesn't work. Well, that's the problem. It does work in the short term.
Going very low calorie, you actually risk organ failure.
Now that's the extreme of it, but it is a possibility. The not so extreme case is you're going to shoot your metabolism. So very quickly, here's what happens when you cut out too many calories. First of all, an average, let's go with a female. An average female is 2,000 calories per day. So that's your intake. And if you're not losing or gaining weight at the moment, you can assume that your metabolism is exactly the same. Now what most people do is they cut out way too much calories, and because the metabolism was up here, what happens is you lose weight. Fantastic, and this is why it's so popular. However, what they don't anticipate is metabolism will very quickly adapt, and then you'll hit this area here when it's a plateau. You've got this area of fat loss, you think, okay, this diet works, but why is it not working anymore? Then you've got one of 2 choices. You either cut out more calories and have the same effect, or you lose heart and you go back to your normal eating. If you do that, normal eating, metabolism's down here, and what happens is you've got this big zone here where you gain weight, okay? You gain more than what you started with. The other option obviously is then you cut out more calories, you start by again losing weight again because you've cut out more calories than your metabolism is, therefore you lose weight, but the same thing happens, your metabolism adapts and you're even further down that level. Metabolism's so low, and sooner or later you have to then build it back up again, and at this point your metabolism is so low, calorie intake comes up and you gain loads of weight back on again. And although you get great results in the beginning days, that's why people do these things, your metabolism will very, very quickly adapt. You'll find yourself with low energy, low mood. You can even start to suffer from depression, anxiety, because the brain chemistry changes. And ultimately you'll plateau. You will not be able to sustain it for very long, and sooner or later you'll go back to normal eating. By that point, everything, metabolism, mood, and hormone levels are way down, and then you go to normal eating and you put all that weight back on again,
and then some.
And then some.
So rather than just talking about the problem, we're going to give you a solution.
So solution number 1 is to cut your calories by 10%.
Start off gradual, 10%, okay? So if you're having 2,000 calories a day, drop down to about 1,800. What
this does, it will allow your body to maintain a decent metabolism while still burning the fat, the excess body fat.
That will go hand in hand with all the other tips we're about to give you. And epic fail number 2.
Doing cardio alone with nothing else.
Everyone sets out a weight loss goal, they get the Rocky music on, they put their sweat stuff on, they're like, I'm going to run 1,000 miles and that's it, nothing else, I'm just going to run.
So basically what this is, by doing cardio alone, your body will become efficient at doing cardio. So the main fuel source for cardio, and this is why people do it, the main fuel source is body fat. If you're only doing cardio, your body's like, okay, well, we're burning fat every day, which is great. You might think, well, this is exactly what I want, this is fantastic. But then your body's always going to make you efficient at whatever you do. So if all you're doing is burning fat, your body wants to be efficient at that, therefore you are going to then store more fat in the short term and the long term, because your body wants to be ready for burning more fat. So that's downfall number 1.
The second problem with only doing cardio is it's very hard to progress that any further. It just means spending more and more time doing cardio. Okay, so if you start off at doing 45 minutes cardio, then you've got to do an hour, then an hour and 15, then an hour and a half. You'll run out of hours in the day.
What we'll come on to in a second is a solution, but ultimately you want to be looking at making progress with your training constantly, month in, month out. So if you're doing cardio alone, like Rab said, it's hard to constantly progress that in the early days, and again, this is why it's popular. In the early days, you will progress and you'll get fantastic results. You'll burn loads and loads of fat. But if that's all you're doing, well, how long can you run for? You know, you have that running faster or longer. You've always got to make a change. So doing cardio alone, it's very difficult to keep making progress over the long term. And this is a lifelong journey. Therefore, we have to think about lifelong changes.
So again, we're going to give you the solution. Add in resistance training along with your cardio if you choose to do some cardio.
So adding in some sort of resistance training will give you the ability to progress your training. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be resistance training, it can just be high intensity. So weight training is the main form of high intensity training. It's very, very easy to make that progress, doing more weights, more reps, higher tempo, slower tempo. There's lots of different variables that you can change up to constantly make progress. So that's why we recommend resistance training. But you can do a similar benefit by doing high intensity training, and that could be, you know, battle ropes and box jumps and sled pushes,
burpees.
Everyone loves a burpee. So it's very easy then to say, right, well, this is what I'm doing, and you can make a little change to your diet, to your training, make a little change to your training, and you can see that progress. And as you verge on hitting a plateau, you just change it up and you do a little bit more.
And also the other benefit when you're doing resistance is for hours after doing a resistance workout, you will continue to burn calories at a fast rate. After doing a cardio workout alone, you'll continue to burn calories for probably up to about an hour after you've finished, and it's not as much. So to burn maximum calories, do some resistance training.
So you're probably watching this video right now because you want to lose weight. You got to think, if it was a competition to see how much body fat you could burn over an hour, then cardio would be the way to do it. But we're not looking to see how much weight you can burn over an hour. We're looking to see how much fat you can burn indefinitely for months. Therefore, like Rab said, we're looking to get the most bang for your buck during the session so that you can continue to burn calories for up to a day afterwards, if it's intense enough.
An epic fail for weight loss number 3.
Only focusing on calories.
So it's kind of old school, wasn't it? It's like the trainers will tell you fundamentals, it's calories in versus calories out. Now that's to a certain degree, but you can't just focus on calories. You've got to ask, where are those calories coming from?
Where are they coming from, and more importantly, where are they going? So as you ingest food, okay, it's not just the energy that you get from it per se, but it's then what those calories or what those nutrients are then used for in your body. The main one in question being protein, okay? So you've got 3 macronutrients: your protein, your carbs, and your fats. Now protein, when you ingest protein, they say it's up to 30% of the calories contained within protein are used just to process the food alone. Okay, so 30% is used just to process the food. That's huge compared to about 10% from carbs and fats. Above and beyond that, when the calories from protein are processed, it doesn't go to storage of energy and used as energy, although some may be used. It then goes to your muscle mass, to your connective tissue, everything that builds up a really great fat burning metabolism.
So when you take in the good fats, they've got multiple uses. So you've heard about cholesterol, you've got good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. So if you bring good fat sources that have got good cholesterol, that's fantastic for making up the cell wall and for raising your overall levels of good cholesterol to balance it all out. The fats as well are vital for hormone production. So again, cutting out fat completely is never ideal. So sometimes to savage calories, a lot of these shops you'll look at products, particularly yogurt products or other ones, it's always low fat. It's like, nowadays it's not necessarily the go-to.
Yeah, I think days gone by low fat was very popular, but nowadays not so much. You really have to look at your diet, and you want to optimize your protein, your fats and your carbs and balance it out. So most people watching this will say, well, I believe in a balanced diet. 100%, so do we, but it's only when you start to look at where your macronutrients are fitting in that you probably realise your nutrients are not balanced.
Okay, so people tend to make a mistake when they're looking to lose weight or cutting anything back. They think, right, I'm going to eat more protein, and right away they're eating a meal like, I'm going to have some chicken for my dinner. Now that might only be 40 or 50 grams of protein. So 40 or 50 grams of protein is only actually equal to around 200 calories. Okay, so given that we recommended about 1800 calories a day, that is nowhere near where it needs to be. So if we draw a little pie chart here, so if 200 calories is probably a slice, so they're going to be getting the rest of the calories from fats, will probably be way down here, and then the rest from carbs, which is not balanced at all.
So straight away you can see that your 40 to 50 grams of protein only equals about 10% of the overall diet.
It's not enough.
It's not balanced at all. I mean, as a general rule, we'll say maybe 30% protein, 30% fats, and 40% carbohydrates. That's an across the board generalisation. But in order to get 30% protein is actually not difficult, but you have to really put your mind to it and look at the foods that you're having in order to achieve that.
So again, we're going to give you the tip.
So let's start with very, very basics. There's lots of software available nowadays. If you're watching this, then you've got access to the internet. So look at a calorie counting app of some kind or website. So as a first go-to step, we would say look at your macronutrient split, and I would say go for 30% protein, 30% fats and 40% carbohydrates. That's a nice bog standard starting point. Do that, see how you feel, see how your body reacts. And it's all about then trial and error, because everybody watching this is going to be different. So you have to look at that level and say, right, well, how does my body feel in that? Have I got high energy or low energy? Do I feel good or do I feel rubbish? And then you can make an adaptation. Is it too much carbs? Is it not enough carbs? Is it too much protein? Not enough protein? And you start to then filter that away into a nice system that works for you.
So to summarise, the 3 epic fails are:
cutting calories too much or too quickly,
focusing purely on cardio,
or not looking at your macronutrient ratios, your protein, fats and carbohydrates, and just focus on calories alone.
And our top 3 tips:
drop calories by no more than 10%.
Add in some resistance training alongside your cardio or instead of.
And finally, get a bog standard macronutrient ratio, i.e. 30% protein, 30% fats and 40% carbohydrates. See how you feel in it, see how your body reacts, and then make an adaptation from there.